Well, thank you for coming on the red carpet round table.
Thanks for having me. It's been a long
Yeah.
time coming. I'm glad we're finally doing it.
Yes. I want to dig into what got you into being a country music singer.
Okay, so I basically always loved to sing since I was a little girl. My parents got me involved in Kindermusik classes and things like that. And I tried like piano, flute, and other instruments, but singing was just always my passion. And whenever, like, when they ask you when you're a little kid in school, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And mine was just always like to sing. I just want to be a singer. And it just stuck all the way through high school and college. I ended up getting my master's in music entrepreneurial studies. So I just did music the whole way through. But the reason why country music is so influential for me and means so much to me is because when I was about, I want to say 12, my aunt passed away from an incident where she was roping a calf in a competition, and the horse and the calf got tangled with the rope, and the horse, crushed her. And so she passed away from that. And it really got to me because going to her funeral, I saw like the community and how everyone came, and it just seemed like a family. And, they were playing country music. They had people walking up on horses, giving their condolences. And it was just such a different vibe from like what I was used to as a kid. And my mom always grew up like on ranches and farms. And that was like my mom's side of the family. They were much more into that country lifestyle, whereas my dad was from New York City. He was like a city boy. So I always had like that dual like perspective. But when my aunt passed away, it just influenced me and inspired me to just like love that, culture. And I love the music. I was listening to it at the funeral, and I was just like, wow, like I just love the vibe. It's just such a wholesome and like a family vibe. And I feel like it's storytelling. So you always get like a good story from a good country song. And it honestly just stuck with me ever since. And I've just been obsessed with country music pretty much since that incident happened in my life.
Wow. I'm so sorry to hear that. And that's a touching story, also a very emotional story, but it's
Yeah.
also kind of like a healing for you to get
Yeah.
into the country music. That's what it sounds like.
Exactly. And I feel like if that incident didn't happen, it wouldn't have shaped me the way I am today. Like, I don't know if I would have found country music or if I would have just kept singing pop or rock. So it greatly influenced my genre that I chose as a
Hmm.
singer-songwriter. And it was more than just like loving country music, because I obviously was obsessed with Carrie Underwood, Martina McBride, Leanne Rhymes back then. Ooh, bless you. So those were all very influential. Bless you again.
Sorry, I
I
mean
know.
myself.
I always do two to three to do all also. Um, so they were influential women of country during that time too, when my aunt has passed away. So I was thriving off of that music, and Shania Twain and all of the greats, right? So I don't think I would have latched onto it as much if it didn't happen.
Hmm.
But I'm not, obviously, like, it's still like a very upsetting story, but from the phoenix, rises through the ashes. It's like at least something positive came of it.
Right.
And she had actually a line of clothing called Cinderella Cowgirl, because she was actually, I believe she had like I think not she was an orphan, but she had like step parents or something. She had like a similar story to Cinderella, and she was always a cowgirl. She loved, going to events, rodeos, and competing in them. So that was like her brand, her identity was Cinderella Cowgirl. So she would go to all the rodeos, and she would have a vendor booth where she would sell like, clothing, belts, hats, things that represented her. And I always loved her story, and I loved what she did, and I admired her so much.
Wow. Um, I want to dig into also as well, country music and um, how popular is it in California?
It's really popular right now. A few years ago, you would have said, "Hey, do you like country music?" And the person would have been like, "It's not my first choice," like, "Oh, I don't really listen to that," like, but now everybody loves it here. It's a total, and I think it's not just California. I think it's like all over the United States now. But country music is becoming such a genre bending genre that it has something for everyone now. Like I'm hearing of EDM with like techno, sounds in country
Hmm.
music. I'm hearing like rapping country music, pop country. We're involved in so many mixing of genres that I feel like it's hard not to like country in one way or another. You may not like traditional country, but in some form you have listened to a country song on the radio and you have probably enjoyed it. So California is really big on it right now, especially like the coastal country vibes. That's what
Right.
we're like branding it or calling it. And like I consider myself a California cowgirl. So it's funny how people don't really think of California as like that. They think, oh, it's the big city or it's like the beach, but it's not very country. But more than half of the state is farmland and ranchers. So it's kind of interesting to know that little fun fact and realize that California is so big and diverse. But yeah.
And that's good. I personally believe I think country music kind of started to change starting from Taylor Swift, in my personal opinion. Um, and you're right. A lot of country music is they are
Yeah.
going away from traditional music because
Hmm.
personally, if you want to continue the country music from generation to generation, I believe a lot of singers are realizing we can't do the old traditional style. We got to do
Yeah,
like what young people, bring the young people involved. Like you said, a techno, a little rap in there or something like that
exactly.
to have them come in and say, okay, this is not a bad country music. So I
Yeah.
totally understand. There has to be some change in because
Yeah.
every, I guess every generation there has to be a change in music and to have to
Hmm.
bring people in. 100%.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to evolve and grow with every genre, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like now it's country music's time. And it's
Right.
so exciting because I've been on this wagon for so long waiting. And I've been just like, oh, come on, guys. Like, it's cool to wear cowboy boots and a cowgirl hat like once in a while. And,
Mm-hmm.
now I just feel like it's everyday wear. Like, you don't get judged by walking out of the house and going to the supermarket with cowboy boots on anymore. It's
Right.
weird if you don't. Like, a lot of people are still like, no, like that's not for me, and that's fine. But it's a lot more accepted, and I'm all about it. I love it.
Amazing. Um, let's go into when is your next concert where people can watch you, or when's your next event in California or somewhere in the
That
United
is
States?
a
Where
good
can they
question.
come?
So pretty sure my next event is July 20th. I will be singing at Danny California's Hat Bar and Boutique. It's located in the Claremont Village. It's LA County, but it's like the outskirts more up in
Mm-hmm.
the Inland Empire, kind of like where I'm from and where I live. But I perform there at least one Sunday every month. So I'll be doing that kind of like a busking vibe. And then on July 24th, I will be doing another like little show, but I'm starring as like a guest singer at Danny Rose's show. So I will be singing some country covers at that as well. I'm still working on that location and the details for that one, but I will also be there. And then on July 27th, which is a Sunday, I believe, I will be in Long Beach doing a songwriters event. I'm blanking on the location right now, but I can also send you all of those details as well.
Wait, amazing. That's a lot. Do you
I know,
usually
and it keeps getting added to as well. So I just kind of update my Instagram bio and I just put all my upcoming shows
hmm
there because it just gets so crazy and it's constantly changing.
So do you usually only sing well, saying, I mean, is your event usually only on Sundays?
No, I, or which event? The one where I sing in front of
Yes,
Danny
I'm
California.
sorry,
So
yes.
that's the Claremont Farmers Market, and that's every Sunday
Okay.
in Claremont. So I like to sing for those, but I don't sing at every single one. I'm singing at the July 20th one for coming up July. And then last month I sang in June, and I kind of do it like 1 to 2 times a month
Okay.
for those farmer markets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um Now I want to dig into also as well, how do you come up with your own songs? How do you write them down?
I have notes in my phone and I'm constantly like writing in my notes or doing voice memos. If something comes to me and inspires me, I'll just quickly like, sing it or speak the lyrics or something so I don't forget. And then I'll revisit it later. Other times I'll just be like in a writing session and I'll be like trying to conjure up something. And so, certain things will just come to me, certain themes, and I'll just start writing them.
Wow. And what like what comes to your mind if you mind me asking?
A lot. So I've been writing a That's okay. A lot of my original music that is out or going to be coming out is based off of like heartbreak or love interest
Mm-hmm.
in some ways, which is kind of funny because that's just what inspires me in the moment of what I'm thinking about most of the time is just like, oh, they hurt me. Well, instead of being hurt and upset about, I'll just channel it into a song and then that'll be my closure and I'll wrap it up with a little bow and then I'll move on. So that's kind of just how I deal with
Okay.
it. And that's just what's been coming out thus far. But I've been kind of phasing away from that and trying to write more things that inspire me and things that I'm thankful for, like my family and different themes that are happening in my life, who inspires me, things like that. Because, yes, like it's easy and fun to write about love interests and how they went wrong or went right, but I feel like everyone does that, and sometimes I just want to like get into something different or talk about something new. So I'm in like a new phase at the moment.
Okay. And also one thing I want to say is like the songs help people heal and
Hmm.
also helps people through mental health.
Oh, totally.
Yes. So
That's why I do it. Yeah.
yes, since I brought that up, I'm a big mental health advocate. For yourself and your journey and your story, um, what is your what has helped you um, get through your mental health and mental well-being?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So I honestly started getting into music because I loved how it made me feel when I listened to a song. I'm a very emotional person. So when I hear a song, it'll bring me to tears half the time. Same with movies. Like I cried during Lilo and Stitch, I think 10 times. Like movies and music are the arts that
Great
really
movie,
just
by the way.
it was really good. I did really I love anything Disney, honestly, but animation is just so cute lately and inspiring. Like How to Train Your Dragon just came out too. Loved that one. The robot movie. Oh, I was a mess. Like the iRobot one. But yeah, so like all these things really deeply influence me and bring out our emotions, and that's very healing for that part of ourselves that we may have not healed from. So music, when I'm going through it or I'm having a really bad day, like I'll just throw on a song and it'll instantly change my mood. It's like an upper almost. And it's like, I don't need alcohol. I don't need drugs. I don't need anything. I just need to listen to a song and my mood will be enhanced and it will change. So I feel like if I could give that to somebody else, like that would make me insanely happy. And I feel like my job is done. So that's the main reason for writing music, is so I can connect to others and help them in whatever they're going through, letting them know they're not the only ones maybe going through that, and making
Mm-hmm.
people just feel less alone. And music is just like a community for me, and it's not selfish. It's kind of like love. It's like music isn't selfish. It's helping either you for writing the song and healing through it, or and others from listening to it and also healing. So I love music. It's very powerful. It's one of the most powerful languages I think in the world.
You're absolutely right. And the one thing I want to say is that music heals people.
Hmm.
You and I know this, and a lot of people in the entertainment industry know this, is that it helps people with the mental health.
Hmm.
And you're right. It brings healing to a lot of people,
Hmm.
and it's also well, a lot of singer stories, a lot of singer stories, a lot of artist stories, but also music is also healing the teenagers, the kids, the adults, or
Hmm.
whoever's listening to it,
Yeah.
100% because it's probably kind of telling their story, you
Hmm.
know. Um,
Yeah.
and it's kind of very, I mean, it's not weird bringing this up. It's the truth. Like you look at Taylor Swift bring so many songs, right? And
Yeah.
it's when you listen to Taylor Swift or Lady Gaga or any singers out there,
Mhm.
A-list or not, you listen to their song and you hear stories. And if you listen the first time, you're like, okay, this is good. When you listen
Mhm.
the second time and you really listen to the words, it gets you. You're like, oh wow, this
Yeah.
is what's happening, what happened in their life, and it gets you, and you're like, wow, and that is like the emotional roller coaster. You look at Kelly Clarkson who sang Piece by Piece, right?
Oh, I
And
love her.
yeah, and
She's
you listen to that song first time, you're like, okay, it's good, but the second time you listen to the lyrics and the words, you're like, wow,
Yes. A
it
lot of times we don't listen to lyrics, and I've noticed that even I do this. When I'm listening, I'll just be, in the car thinking, "Wow, this is catchy. This is really good." And then my boyfriend will turn to me and be like, "But did you hear the lyrics?" And I'm like, "No." Like I don't pay attention to the lyrics all the time,
hmm
until I really like a song and I play it a bunch, and then I'm like, "Wait, what are they actually saying?" And then
right.
I'll look up the lyrics on my phone or on Spotify or whatever just to figure out what is really being said? Because I know what I think is being said, but now what is actually being said? So I'll do both. And it's funny,
hmm
you can create a song totally in your mind, but it's not the reason that the artist may have written it. But either way, if it has a positive impact on you, it has a positive impact. So I've gone years of my life thinking a song meant something that it didn't, but it still helped me in that moment thinking it meant that. Does that
Right.
make it's kind of
Hun-
funny?
100%. And you're not the only one. I mean, myself and a lot of people have experienced what you have and other people have that like, oh, we don't really listen to the lyrics. We don't,
Yeah.
but when you listen to it the second time or the third time, you're like, okay, I got
Lyrics
it.
are so important. They're
Yes.
arguably the most important part of the song because I feel like we get our initial mood or emotion from like the melody and the rhythms and just kind of like the overall vibe
Mm-hmm.
of the song, like how it makes us feel. But then the lyrics are like life changing because you could hear one lyric that'll just change your life forever. Like one
100%.
one quote or one thing that's just like, wait, that was really clever. And that's totally like that makes sense, like it just clicks. And so lyrics are just like on another level of songwriting
Mm-hmm.
and they're very important. A lot of music out there is just mumbling half the time or they're saying things that don't make sense. But some songs, like you said, Taylor Swift, really good songwriter. Casey Musgraves, extremely good songwriter. Those are the people that I value the most as artists because if you're clever with words and you're clever with how you say things, if you can say something that's been said so many times, but say it in a
Mm-hmm.
different way, that is so powerful. So, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. You said it all right there. Um, I want to dig into now is who is your dream with all the artists and all the singers out there, hip hop, rap, country, acoustic, so on. Who is your dream person that you want to sing next to? It can be a male and a female. Which one and why?
Okay. Okay. This is really hard. I have to think about this very well. Well,
I know
This
there's
is
so
so
many.
this is so difficult because I'm thinking of all the older artists who are just like legends, but then I'm
Mm-hmm.
also thinking of the newer ones as well. Um, my first instinct, my go-to is Carrie Underwood because she influenced me from the very beginning with country music, and I've
Okay.
heard every one of her albums, like completely obsessed with her. I love how she carries herself. I love her sweet nature, and and I just love her so much, and all of her music, like it's just banger after banger, really. But then I think of like, Stevie Nicks, like also a legend, Linda Ronstadt. I cover a lot of their music and I really respect them a lot. So it's really hard for me to pick one female artist,
No,
honestly.
it's okay.
For oh, and then there's Celine Dion. Like she's just the end
Oh
all be
yes,
all.
yes, we cannot forget about Celine Dion.
Honestly, okay. So taking country music out of it completely, the first artist that deeply influenced me and affected me was Celine Dion because she was one of the first concerts I went to with my mom. And seeing her perform live, I thought, wow, how could I ever do half of what she does? She's so emotional and her voice is just so powerful. And at her age, and she's still doing it, I'm in shock with her every day. Like she's truly like probably one of the best vocalists in the world. Like she's crazy.
Yes,
uh,
I love Celine Dion. I love her.
I I
I love
covered a
her.
lot of her music as a child, and it's really big shoes to fill. Like she's such a powerhouse and she's so
Hmm.
good. But the one of the biggest things is the emotions that she has when she is singing. That is probably the best part about her is she shows it all on her face, and she's so like humble and gracious, and she's just great. I have no words.
Right, 100%. Now I have these deep question here is what's your most pivot moment in your life as of right now?
Pivotal, like what do you mean? Be more
Career,
specific.
your career life. What has changed you?
Okay, what has changed me in regards to like my career, like been a
Yes.
big step for me so
Yes.
far? Okay, oh my gosh, so many things recently, honestly. For one, I just sang at my first like festival not too long ago. I sang at a Toby Keith tribute. It was called Beach Country Festival, and it was my first like big event where it was outside on a big stage, and I was singing like by myself, all my original music for a huge crowd of people who paid for tickets and like came to specifically see like the artists, and then the Toby Keith tribute artist Hollywood Yates was there singing. It was crazy. So that was like my first experience. And then 2 weeks like later, like not too long after that, I did my city's festival. So we put on a huge like festival. It's called the Lemon Festival every year. It's always around June. It's perfect for summer vibes, and our city is known for the lemon orchards that it was built on. So we just honor that by doing this huge Upland Lemon Festival. And I was so honored to sing at that on a big stage again. Like it was just a great experience. And I got to do it with my full band. And it was just like my first time ever doing something like that. So I was very happy.
Wow, that's amazing. That's so awesome. Now, my next, what is your why? What's your why?
Mhm. Like why music?
Yes.
Like why? I feel like I might have covered that already because I talk a lot, but
No, it's okay. It's okay. You know, a lot of people, to be honest, a lot of people who look up to you or a lot of people who want to get into music, everybody wants to know what's their why they're doing this. And
yeah.
personally, you know, for me, my why is to let people know you and everybody who's in the entertainment industry,
Yeah.
and tell their stories, mental health or not, because everybody has a journey.
Oh, I love
What
that.
inspired them to do this? So, what's your why?
Uh-huh. I think my why is basically going back to like how it's helped me so much with my mental health, and how it's the only thing that's greatly impacted me in a positive way. Like when I'm just sitting in the car, I think Maren Morris puts it very well in her song My Church. When she's sitting in her car and she just plays a song, like that's the closest she feels to God. And I feel the same way. Music is the closest I feel to like my spirituality and my relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the best way that I know how to connect with something deeper than myself. And I feel closer to people through music. When I go to a concert or a festival, I've never had more fun in my life than just standing there hearing one of my favorite artists or just an artist in general singing that one song with that one line in it that like changed my life. Like that is life altering in my opinion, and I've never had more fun than going to a festival and just like raising my hand, and it feels like I'm at church worshiping. It feels like bigger than myself, and in that moment I've just decided like if this is the thing that makes me the happiest, if this is the one thing that I feel like is changing my life and changing other lives for the better, like like I feel like I'm called and like my purpose in life is to help others and to make a positive impact in any way that I can, because the world is so big and we just get lost in all of the hustle and
Mm-hmm.
bustle and like
Mm-hmm.
the greediness and doing things for yourself. And I get really great joy from doing things for others. I'm like a giver. I love giving gifts. I love, showing up for people and just seeing my impact as a positive in someone else's life brings me the most joy. So in music, I feel like I can achieve that. And just getting that one person who comes up to me after a set or after a song and they say, like, oh my gosh, that one song you sang, and then they'll say the name wrong or they'll say something and it won't be it, but they'll say, that song really spoke to me because I've been going through something like that. And that's what just it's all about, is just connecting with people and making people feel a little less alone. So I feel like that's my why. And then also just like my family is my why. Like I do everything for them and I want to make sure like they know that I am taking this gift and I won't waste it, because like my parents have put a lot of money into my college and my education and they've backed me this whole time. They're not everyone can say like their family supports them in their dreams, even if it is one of the hardest things I've ever done is music. I mean, it's hard for everyone. It's not an easy route. There's a lot easier things you can do in life and choose as a profession, and this is not one of them, but it's worth it in the end if I get to achieve what I'm set out to achieve. So it's like there's no plan B for me. It's like I put all my
Mm-hmm.
eggs in this one basket and I have to see it through because I know that I'm capable and I will, get to my goal basically. So
Amazing.
yeah, it's a
That's
lot. It's a lot, but I've been discouraged a lot too. Like I want to normalize that, it's okay to feel discouraged and one day think I'm going to give it all up,
mm-hmm.
because I've been through that so many times and just feeling like, one door closes, another will always open. And it's hard to see that in the moment, but I've been told no a lot of times. It hasn't always been easy. You get a few yeses and you're like back on track, but it's mostly no's. And so it's hard to not feel discouraged, but it's important to see like the bigger picture and just know like this is God's plan, like this is what I'm meant to be doing, and just
Mm-hmm.
trust in that and just keep going for it and never giving up. Because if you give up something that you love, you're always going to wonder like, what if, I didn't really see that through. I didn't try as hard as I thought I
Mm-hmm.
should have.
That's true.
So I'm just, yeah, full speed ahead, like narrow minded, just going for it
Right.
because there's no other
Anything
way.
can anything can happen with God.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
Believe
It's
it, I'm
all
a
in his
believer.
hands. And if it's meant to be, like I know he'll have me do something that will help the masses in some way.
Right.
Like I'm hoping it's music. I'm sure it's music, but if it's not, then something related to music in some way, because I feel like this is just the greatest calling to have, is to just unite people, especially in, such turmoil in our country right now. I feel like we need unity and we need music to
Yes,
feel unified,
100%.
and like it's so important. Yeah,
Music will bring people together.
it's true.
100%.
And
100%.
it's one of the only things that I think will,
Right.
honestly,
And I totally
at this
agree
point.
with you. And you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. Anything can happen with God. 100%. Um, what would you tell your 7-year-old self if you could go back? What would you
Oh,
tell your 7-year-old?
so much, girlfriend. Oh my God. It's okay to like want to have fun and want to go out and just like be social and doing that constantly, but you also got to hunker down, girl, and you got to like you got to start getting at it. And like it's all about like just determination and going after what you want at a young age, because I kind of like I was a kid, I was very like la-di-da and just I just wanted to play, and I was very social. I'm an only child, so I never had siblings, so I was always yearning for just that social interaction, going to events, going to parties. I think that's why I love singing so much, because it's just also social and I just love
Mm-hmm.
people in general. I love talking to people from just different walks of life. It just really intrigues me and inspires me. So yeah, I forgot what telling my 7-year-old self, you got to still like keep on track though, and like keep like because I got sidetracked a few times. I'd have events lined up for the weekend, but they weren't productive. And so just hanging out, goofing off with friends. Like I constantly just wanted to just be around friends, but I needed to really just get involved and start singing
Mm-hmm.
earlier. I should have been getting my music out earlier. I feel like it took me a while. I also went to college and that kind of, stunted that growth as well because it's very time consuming and just like mentally, physically, like everything exhausted me. I needed to like take a step back for like a year or two and just like, learn how to be a person again without going to school. So, but yeah, just like getting after it and starting it at an early age, I think and maybe just moving to Nashville, who knows? Like just getting out there more, like I wish I put myself out there more and wasn't so afraid of what might
Mm-hmm.
happen. Like
Right.
just trusting and going for it.
Trusting and going for it. Wow.
Mhm.
Um, what would you tell the next generation of young kids who are, looking up to you or following you or who wants to get into the entertainment industry and music? What's your advice for
I
them?
have so much advice. Um, don't fall for anything. Always ask questions because if someone's offended by you asking a question, then you need to move on and you need to go to the next door because I've had so many people try to scam me in this industry and it becomes very disheartening the amount of vultures out there who are trying to take advantage of young artists saying I'll make you a star, just give me 50 grand. It's like it's not okay. And a lot of people are naive and young and they don't know. And luckily like I went to college and I studied music business so I know a lot of the behind the scenes, but a lot of people don't, and I feel for them and I feel bad for them. And I've been one of those people, but you just got to ask questions, do your due diligence, have contracts, read through them thoroughly. Don't just trust anyone. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. But just getting out there and performing and networking face to face with a person is 10 times more valuable than someone finding you on Instagram and saying they'll make you a star because it's not real. It you need that face to face contact, you need that trust, and you need that in person contact. Everything's like online nowadays, and it's getting to be too much. And we need to just get out there and be real people again. So I definitely say that, like, don't trust just anybody. And then don't listen to anyone who discourages you and tells you you can't, because if you truly love it and it truly brings you happiness, you will get there and you will make it happen. I had a
Mm-hmm.
lot of growing up, a lot of teachers in life, choir teachers, musical theater teachers, just people who are in a position of power telling me that I maybe should rethink my career goals. And that was so wrong of them to do because, as a young kid, you're very malleable and you take things in and you take them to heart. But
Right.
it honestly fueled me and made me want to prove them wrong even more. So then I went to college for it all. But there's going to be a lot of people discouraging you, telling you no, telling you, oh, maybe next time, just keep trying again because eventually you will get in, you will get through the door. It's the people who stop trying after they get told no once that it's like, of course, you're never going to get it then. You're never going to proceed because, you believe that one person who, one person out of millions and millions doesn't matter. You have to think the bigger picture. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. You just have to be somebody's cup of tea. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, just trusting yourself, being yourself always, and never changing for anyone, being very authentic.
100% true what you said. Amazing.
Mhm.
100%. Where can people find you on social media or how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so I'm on Facebook, Instagram at alyssaannmusic.com. Alyssa is spelled Alyssa, and then music. And you can find me on there. You can follow me, add me, and that's where I post up my tour dates and where I'll be singing in the area. And then I also have all of my music on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, like basically all the streaming sites. And you
Mm-hmm.
can find me on there at Alyssa Ann. And I currently have 3 songs out. I just had Honey, my newest single, come out May 16th. So I'm very excited about that one. If you
Congratulations.
guys could go stream that one, that would mean a lot. And I'm actually having my music video coming out shortly here for that single. So I'm very excited for that to happen and just stay tuned for all of it.
Well, congratulations on your music video and your new song.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Now, are you gonna be curious question. Are you going to be trying to go for American Idol or any other um my mind just went blank. I'm sorry. Uh
No, it's okay.
the
I
other
understand
ones
what you're saying. Yes, yes.
I know them, but somehow my brain is like you know what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry.
I get you.
Anyways.
I get you. I get you. Yeah, I've tried out for American Idol a few times. I think I made it through the first round one time. That was very exciting for me, to get picked for the next call. But I didn't make it any further after that. And then I've done The Voice. Oh my gosh, I think more than 20 times. Like I've tried out and I've made it past the first cattle call. I'd say like four times, 4 or 5 times. It's been a lot and it's been very exciting. It's just getting past that second round to the third round of the interviews. Haven't quite made it there yet, but I'm very confident that I will one day. And you just got to keep
Yes,
trying, like
please
you
do.
don't just do it once and not get in and think, oh, okay, I'm done. Like I didn't make it. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, no, like, and it's not always about your voice, about how you sound. Sometimes it's about the song you sing. It's about how you might fit in that season's show. So I've learned to never take reality TV seriously because of that, because one day you will fit the mold for whatever they're trying to do for that season. Because you have to think like it's still a show. They still want to make it entertaining and you have to have, your story and everything. It's much more than just having a good voice. So just I don't want anyone to feel discouraged because they think, oh, I must sound really bad. It's not always about that with these shows. America's Got Talent, I've tried out for a bunch of times and I've made it through, I think, one time as well with one of those. But yeah, I do everything that I can. Every opportunity that's given to me, I've decided like I'm a yes girl. Like, oh, you want me to sing for this? Yes. Like, you want me to do this? Yes. Like, I'm very much into like taking every opportunity I can and trying because you never know what might happen. And like
Mm-hmm.
emailing that venue and emailing that, event to see if you can perform at it.
Right.
What's the harm? They don't get back to you. Oh well, email them again. So
Right.
I'm just, yeah, I'm a go-getter when it comes to that because
I
I've
can
realized
tell.
like I took years of just like kind of waiting for things to happen and nothing was happening. And I was like, what is going on? Like, I thought I'm amazing. I thought I'm great. Like, I chalked myself up to be something. And then I'm like, well, I'm not really trying though. So it's amazing what will happen and the doors that will open when you actually go for it and put yourself out there.
Well, definitely keep trying. Don't give up,
I
and
appreciate that. I won't.
I know you can do it. And I know you'll be on American Idol and The Voice and etc. So I'm so happy for you. Well, thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
on. I am so happy we got in touch.
Me
We're
too.
definitely gonna stay in touch. I would love to have you back on again and talk about your
Yes.
upcoming next music and other projects you'll
Yes.
be doing.
Of course. Yeah. When my music video comes out, we can do another one of these interviews and we can
Yes,
talk about that
please.
because there's a lot behind that video. Like I edited the whole thing by myself. So I have a lot to say about that process. And it took a long time and it's very hard. Like I don't take any of it for granted. So thank you so much for
Yes,
having
and
me, though. I appreciate you.
we'll definitely talk about your music video when it comes out. And
Awesome.
we'll
Great.
talk more in details about it. So I'd love to have you back. We'll stay in touch.
Yay. Okay. Great. It was so nice meeting you,
Yeah, it was so nice to
Ryochi.
meeting you. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
All
Have
right,
a
I'll
great
talk
rest
to
of
you
your day.
soon. Bye bye.
Bye.